2017 BMW 530e iPerformance Review. The 2017 BMW 530e iPerformance PHEV promises landmark parity in pricing and spec to the petrol 530i alternative. But does it comes with any shortcomings or compromise in the user experience? In a prolific model range such as BMW's, there are lines skewed towards success measured in sales volumes and profitability, and others primarily charged with effecting change in brand building and in moving the car game somewhere new, be it forwards or, perhaps, sidewards. The new 2017 BMW 530e iPerformance sedan sits firmly in the latter, a car not exactly immediately identifiable in its role within the Munich stable. The amalgam of I and performance in its namesake blurs the message of purpose somewhat, but it's a car with clear purpose nonetheless. Plug-in hybrid, PHEV, technology, from an ownership prospect, is now compromise-free. That's the nutshell summation for both an idea and a car that deserve much more elaborate explanation. And, indeed, further digging still for validation. The 530e is the sixth electrified vehicle to hit BMW's Aussie showrooms, joining the PHEV trio that is last year's X5 xDrive 40e iPerformance and 330e iPerformance sedan, the 740e iPerformance limo that launched earlier this year, and the EV Halo torchbearers that are the i3 and the i8. But the song and dance around the 530e is that, according to BMW, it offers absolute parity with the petrol-powered 530i, same spec, same luxury, same performance, and driving experience at exactly the same price, with all of the benefits petrol electric brings and with compromises so insignificant as to barely raise concern. It's the cake-and-eat-it scenario as a key tipping point in Munich's rose-tinted electrified future. Before delving into the smarts at play, let's stack up 530e's stats against the 530i to test those parity claims. Both list for $108,900 before on-road or options and outside means of propulsion. Specifications are bang-on identical. The 530e's hybrid propulsion addenda everything from plug point to the lithium-ion battery pack's cooling requirements adds a formidable 230 kilograms over the petrol car's 1,615 kilograms curb weight, making for a total of 1,845 kilograms. However, BMW says that it's the extra 70 Nm afforded by the 185 kilowatts 530e's combined petrol-electric 420 Nm output that levels acceleration prowess to 6.2 seconds apiece for both 5 Series variants. Where the 530e marches ahead isn't actually in the gallop. Where the petrol 5er parades an impressive 6.2 liters per 100 km combined consumption figure, by European testing methods the hybrid measures a scant 2.3 L. That's an incredible benefit all things being equal, which certainly seems the case given evidence thus far. If there are notable compromises to the 530e pitch, it's that you lose 120 liters of boot space. The boot floor has been raised and fuel tank volume which, at just 46 liters, is about two-thirds the size of the 530i and might impact overall range. That said, forecasting, let alone measuring, actual and usable range and consumption, two key benefactors of opting the hybrid route, is quite the gray area listed under the headline depends, and deserves deeper analyses. Turnouts that the 530e offers up quite different returns for different usage. For a start, Google 530e electric range and some literature suggests 42 kilometers, an NEDC, European test cycle, EV test statistic, whereas BMW Australia quotes a real-world 32 km range with 100% battery charge that takes into account our big-wheeled, warm climate, cranked aircon conditions. To confuse matters, we did, however, manage 56 Ks of pure EV driving at the international launch of the car overseas. Those who diligently plug in and complete a full charge prior to regular driving cycles below 30 kilometers in duration, typical workaday trips for many city dwellers, then might well experience best case zero fuel consumption and emissions. Normal urban driving? BMW claims a stunning 1.5L figure. Everyday driving? That's closer to 4.5L on average, its maker says, and we're already well over that golden Euro certified 2.3L quote. Long journeys and extended use. Trip well beyond the car's electric only 42 kilometer range. Its maker says that a 7.5L figure is more realistic. Yes, it's complicated. Even before you discuss options available to the driver. There are, of course, the expected suite of drive modes that affect frugality and the car's holistic performance, including Eco Pro, Comfort, Sport and individual modes. But further to this, heightened complexity for the end user is presented via 3 selectable powertrain settings via an eDrive button. How's it work? Max eDrive forces all-electric drive, and full electric power at that, at speeds of up to 140 km per hour. Battery control mode, perhaps slightly confusingly, is all petrol power that will propel the car at speed of up to 235 km per hour, presumably someplace well beyond the eye of the law. And, of course, there's Auto eDrive, which self-regulates the complicated business of shuffling between electric, petrol or combined propulsion, but allows electric-only drive up to 90 km per hour flexibility-wise. It's pretty impressive. Clearly, the hybrid benefits when measured by consumption and range hinge largely on how, where, and even when you use the 530e. This is why BMW Australia chose the unorthodox and unexotic, if eminently upmarket, location of Westfield Shopping Centre Bondi Junction, in Sydney's eastern suburbs, as the departure point of the 530ES local launch program. Westfield's car park plays host one of 10 charge point locations on Australia's east coast, co-opted by the car importer and retail network. The socio-economic demographic of the area is right in the BMW 5 Series, hybrid or not, crosshairs. And the brief, sub-40 kilometer urban road test planned should undoubtedly showcase the most positive benefits of 530e ownership in a typical to and from work simulation. How'd it go? The nutshell appraisal is that it goes really well. For a start, I'm quite familiar with and suitably impressed by the recently released internal combustion 5 Series range in around town. It's an extremely familiar and equally impressive driving experience, albeit one with a largely and, by comfort measures, suitably silent soundtrack, given the electric-only 83 kW/250 Nm outputs offer a surprising amount of around-town motivation before the petrol engine chimes smoothly and seamlessly in. And infrequently at that. It's surprising how little energy it takes to keep 1.8 tons of luxury car moving with the flow of urban traffic, a lot of it stop-start, too. The 135 kW/290 Nm produced by the 2.0-liter turbocharged petrol 4-cylinder is far from heady in a hefty luxury car, but swing the needle completely clockwise on the bespoke instrumentation's power meter, indicating charge recuperation at its left side, percentage of output on its right, and e-boost activates, where both engine and motor pull together again. 185 kW/420 Nm combined for satisfyingly swift acceleration. Not to meddle in the launch demonstration, I left the eDrive mode in auto throughout. Even fully flexing the 530ES combined muscle more often than one might on the jaunt from home to the corporate car's pace, the onboard computer returned a consumption figure of just 1.6L/100 kms for our simulated trip. And that's quite obvious with judicious and near complete use of the 9.2 kWh battery pack's capacity. Had I decided to push on to, say, Canberra, some 280 kilometers away, average consumption might be a very different story. Ride and bump compliance is excellent, The steering is light and aloof. It feels built solidly and has an impressive degree of refinement and class. Inside, it's laden with tech framed in a somewhat classic BMW design brief. It's lush, richly upmarket, impressively appointed and, again, is neither better, worse or in fact much different at all to the rest of the 5 Series range. Even the slightly wooden brake pedal feel and slightly assertive engine braking, both indicative of energy recuperation hardware, is quite subtle compared with many other hybrids on the market. At least that's the general impression after a short 30k urban jaunt. I've not stuck the 530e through a corner with gusto yet, but the extra quarter ton of curb weight should undoubtedly impact upon cornering prowess. That said, the notion that any German prestige carmakers large-sized, non-performance sedans are driving entertainment machines is increasingly passé, and that if dynamism is your want, there are fitter 5 Series variants for the task. Or, perhaps the mid-sized 330e hybrid is the much wiser choice. Recharging? There was no opportunity at launch to test BMW's recharge claims, though it quotes that an 80% recharge takes 4 hours, at 1.8 kilowatts, using the supplied plug and 5-meter cable via a domestic socket. Alternatively, a cost-optional BMW i-wall box, at around $2,150 installed at your venue of choice, rated to 3.7 kilowatts, halves the 80% recharge time to 2 hours. Free of charge, though, is a Charge Now card providing no-cost access to some 300-plus charging stations located around the nation. And that last 20% to attain that 32 kilometers all-electric maximum range? Depends, apparently, as the time it takes to attain a properly full charge is, BMW says, highly variable. Essentially, the electrified 5 Series makes most sense once you flip your mindset from internal combustion convention and embrace the mindset that shorter, slower trips yield the largest paybacks in efficiency, cost-effectiveness, and eco-sensibility, provided plug-in diligence is adhered to. Surely such benefits in a big, leather-dipped, techno-laden limousine makes for a package of quite niche appeal on the Australian landscape, even in the guts of Sydney's eastern suburbs. Yes, BMW offers more spaciously practical, X5, more driver-centric, 330e, more luxurious, 740e, and more revolutionary, eco-pretentious, i3 and i8, electrified offerings. But in presenting a hybrid alternative to petrol motivation with unprecedented parity and without hip pocket penalty, the 530e is a huge success, whether anyone actually buys one or not.